Um, Brother Charlemagne, did you get a chance to, um, as you were traveling back and forth, did you get a chance to just woosah and enjoy the trip, or was it just business and or family business, one stop after the other?
So it was with my father. It was his weekend for his birthday, so it was all about him this weekend. So the ride back was kind of woosah. Got me a little nap on the train, so that was cool. But when I got back on the ground, man, so it is what it is. Look, my woosah's coming next month for my birthday.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Um, can you tell us a little bit about why you do your show with the veterans around um, veteran issues? And I know one of the things you definitely cover is Black mental health in that show.
Yeah, over and out VP.
But don't know. You say it again. Say the name of the show again. You said it real quick.
I'm sorry. It's www.overandoutvp.com, and I just took accounts of things that I faced when I transitioned out of the military, and it was a tough transition, and I think a lot of vets go through some of the similarities, things that I went through, transitioning out of the military. And unfortunately, a lot of civilians can't relate, unfortunately, because, it's kind of like a fraternity type thing once you go into the military. And a lot of people don't view it as such, but it really is. So you go through, basic training as part of the initiation process. And like I said, just the mental breakdown that you go through trying to get through that point. And then, everything that you're enduring while you're in the military, and just family and military and all these other things. But we had to continue the mission because in the military, mission is always first. So, like one of my drill sergeants told me, if they wanted you to military issue you everything that you need for the military, you know what I'm saying? So they was like, if they wanted you to have a family, they would have issued you a family. So, just things, just things that I've encountered, things that I faced, and things that I've seen dealing with some of my friends, that passed away due to alcohol, due to other things, drug addictions, simply because they didn't know how to face life after the military. And I just want to address some of those issues and, just try to let people know it's other people like them out here, and I just try to be transparent, as much as possible. I'm starting to have guests come on the show this month to try to discuss some of their issues. I'm going to have females that encountered certain things in the military. So, and other races, the Latino brothers and sisters, they face a lot of different things as well, because there's a lot of people that didn't have their citizenship that was in the military. And a lot of people don't know that. You can still join the military and not have your citizenship. And just some of the things that they encountered, and not being able to go different places. Like sometimes they couldn't even go to Mexico or whatever because they might have left their ID somewhere or something like that, so they couldn't go with us to different places when we were on R&R. But yeah, so that's the reason I did the podcast, and I just want to bring awareness. And that was about it, man.
No, I appreciate that. Appreciate you giving us the breakdown. Thank you, Sister Wilborn, for saying what you said as far as you're going to pass out the information. Again, this room specifically tonight is really around this grant that you see above my head. The grant is $10,000 for Black mental health. So if you are doing any kind of work, or you know anybody that is doing the work to help Black folks deal with the mental stress that we've talked about for the last 2 to 3 weeks, that the CVS survey that showed 11% more Black people believe that they're in mental health trauma and they're experiencing mental health crisis. 11% more Black people than last year believe that, according to the CVS survey that was done and released 2 weeks ago. If you or someone you know is working to alleviate that stress, whatever which way, this grant is coming from the organization above our head that is called BEAM, BEAM, and they are centered in California, and they are working to make sure that the stress that we receive, it can be alleviated somewhat with funding, and the funding is $10,000 to Black-led peer support groups or community health projects. And I love what they say. In partnership with Healthline, we're distributing 3 awards of $10,000 to Black-led peer support and community health projects that center Black folks living in distress or living with mental health conditions. What is this funding for? Healing circles, social support spaces, wellness projects focused on Black folks. Who should apply? Black disability justice collectives, individuals, small nonprofits convening Black folks or wellness circles, therapists or skilled wellness facilitators seeking funds to sustain groups that support Black folks. They say Black folks like 4 times. It's just, when I woke up and I had this information in my inbox, I was just like, I was beaming. This organization is called Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, and they're out of Oakland, California. And I was just beaming. My face was just smiling. You know, I think this is the greatest thing, that one of my greatest wishes for us is to be able to point us at a solution to deal with the day-to-day stresses of being Black, and to know that there's 3 grants out there for Black folks who are on the front line. You know, I'm not on the front line. I definitely do not deal with Black mental health every single day. I know the stats, I know the information, I hand out information, but there are brothers and sisters who are there for us every day. And I don't know of any other grant. Maybe there are, some government grants, but right now, this is the only grant I know that's written by Black people, for Black people, talking about our name is not just Black people or Blacks, it's Black folks. That's what we are, Black folks. So please share this information with facilitators, with people you think could be helpful. Hi, Auntie Cheryl. How are things in CA in California?
They just became a whole lot better here. It's a miracle like this. Thank you. And thank goodness you do this room.
Yep. And the 18 people that showed up, that's all we need, to get the word out. I tell you, it's a small army, but nevertheless, it's an army. And as you move through this week, we're at Thursday. Hopefully by Sunday, we'll see this grant everywhere. You know how Black folks are. Maybe the next Wednesday. I saw our story on on the alleged serial killer make its way up today to one of the top websites that Black folks have, which is Blavity. So I'm glad to see the news make its way. We break the news here, and we make sure the word gets out, and we come back every night and support each other. And anything that we think that you think that should be talked about, please let us know. But we really try to find news that is solution based.
I had to stick my chest out a little bit today, man. Someone sent me this the article. And I was like, oh, we already talked to the dude who wrote the article. Dude was like, what? I sent him the replay of the show. He was like, oh my God, you did, huh?
I heard that.
Yeah, Sister Haywood. I think you were here. I thought maybe you weren't here. If you go to Saturday's replay, we talked to Kansas City Defender, which is a nonprofit media outlet that's covering that covered that story around the alleged serial killer of Black women and his survivor that escaped last week, and how the police said that that wasn't true, and then lo and behold, unfortunately, our sister was in his was held captive against her will for 30 some days. So it perfectly aligns, to that situation. And being that and I had no idea the Kansas City Police Department was such derelict in their duty. It reminds me of where was it that Mike Brown was at? I can't think. It was another Missouri situation, but yeah,
Ferguson? Was it?
Yeah, Ferguson. It was that police department, and then we started to learn about how they were doing a black tax against our Ferguson citizens, and I think all that led to Cori Bush getting into politics and getting to the House of Representatives. So Missouri is a problematic place, I guess, and not I guess, I know, not I guess. And so whenever there's a report from now on coming out of Missouri, I'm definitely going to side eye the experts saying, oh, no, that's not the case. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. That said, wanted to, again, announce to the room, just in case anybody's brand new here, we are looking at this grant that is $10,000 for individuals or small nonprofits or a business that is centering Black folks to sustain wellness in the mental health space. And it's not a grant, it's 3 grants that are available at $10,000. So let's just pass this around. Let's get the word out. Let's let folks know. Let's rock this information and make sure that our family and friends are supported. I have been looking at a Black wellness website. I haven't had a chance to test it myself. So I will be coming back to you next week with that information. It's a beautiful site, though. I was like, whoa, it is a site done intentionally.
I think send it to me, but send it again, because if you think it's pretty, I'd like to really delve into it.
Yeah, and it's I'm not trying to sell for the site, but I just want to always let people know it's always a cost to be the boss, right? So the site is $39 a month, but it is the free part of the site. Like that $39 is to get the brand new videos every time they upload a video, and but I mean this is I just never seen it. And I know it's got to be a Black woman behind it because the site is beautiful and it is tastefully done and it is relevant content every day by Black mental health experts. So psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, social workers. It's just a beautiful site. But I need to just do my due diligence a little bit more, and hopefully we can get them on the show and they can talk about how with the work that they're doing and what they've been succeeding at as a Black mental health website. I believe one of the only of its kind that is doing this type of work every day. But Beam, which is, I just love the name of this organization. I love saying the name over and over and over and over and over and over again. It stands for Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. I just let you sit with that, Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. Please pass this information on. $10,000 grant for Black-led wellness work in Black communities. You don't have to be a for-profit. You don't have to be a non-for-profit. You can be an individual. As long as you are doing something to heal Black people and their mental health, you can apply for this grant. So pass it on. The application deadline is November 18th. It's $10K times 3. I see that Captain Strickland has an article. I was hesitant to talk about this because it is behind a paywall, And but I'm going to see if Captain Strickland wants to talk about this article. Come on up and let the family know about this particular article. Hey, Captain Strickland, how are you? I know I missed your call. I've been tired as F. Baby's been kicking my butt. So you called while I was asleep, taking a nap, and I didn't get back to you. But
no worries. Leaders don't sleep; they take naps, right?
When you got a 1-year-old that's walking around the house, that's true. I don't know about every leader, but my situation.
So we're still doing it, huh?
Oh yeah. So, do you want to talk about this article?
So, no.
Okay.
I want to talk about how I feel about it.
Okay.
I had a significant emotional event, and I was talking to somebody about it earlier, and so I changed my profile pic so they can see it. The Washington Post article, where if people are not familiar with some research data that's been released recently, last 2 or 3 days I've been seeing it where disproportionately, again, Black people are experiencing a certain type of cancer, specifically uterine cancer. So that's women, right? Our uterus, our womb. And also experiencing total hysterectomy at disproportionate rates. And so the condition is linked to relaxers, hair products. And all the things that I do and the causes that I back and the change, the change that I want to make in the world, and I think to myself, they're trying to kill me again. And they got me coming in first, right? And I remember being a preteen with Just For Me, hair relaxers. And I've been natural 4 times, right? And so my military experience has taught me that our disproportionate rates of suicide are because of our thoughts that are linked to our emotion, that are linked to the way that we're processing our situation. And so, although this is a real physical condition, ailment, it has real physical ramifications. The fact that more people that are not of color own the companies that produce these products that are essentially poisoning our bodies and killing our wombs. I want to talk about how I feel about it versus the article because it's crazy.
I found an article that is from NBC News because some people may not be able to get to the Washington Post article. And I hear what you're saying. Before I jump into that, I did want to ask you, do you remember some years ago, there was an article around why we should be having natural hair products versus chemical products?
No, I did not read that.
So this is something interesting that happens a lot. There'll be a brother or sister that will create a blog post on Medium or wherever they're at, and they're not really doing it professionally. They're not like a news outlet, right? But because it's so controversial, it'll get shared around, and then one of the big news outlets will pick it up and they'll rewrite it, and because they rewrite it and they have a legal department, they can't say what a brother or sister has said. It's a whole different conversation. And so I remember this, was just in a room this morning where this article came up, and I asked the Black women on the stage, Shireen, I'm trying to think of the other sister's name, and we were in a newsroom, and this article came up, and I asked the sister that brought it up, did she remember this blog post that said, here are the Black natural hair products, Black-owned products that you should use versus the not Black own hair products that can cause cancer. And it was shared. I thought it went viral. I thought it was shared around, and then eventually there was another news outlet that did that same story. And as I talked to Black women, I realized that, damn, Martin, you didn't, you didn't do your due diligence and responsibility, because I thought it was such a controversial topic, and I thought it was like, I saw it everywhere in my timeline. I thought everybody else saw it. And this morning, one sister said she might think she remembered it, but that to me set the tone. I had no idea how many hair products or makeup has carcinogenic properties in them, and that in this case we're talking about leading directly to uterine cancer. But in the other list, it was talking about general cancers, period. And then of course with nails, we know from the chemicals that are used in nail technicians in nail salons can lead to cancer also. So I thought that this was old news to me. I had no idea that it was such a. Yeah,
because you know what? It was the brand. I think it was 2017.
Yes, exactly.
It was just for me. It was the kids relaxer that initiated the conversation, because these younger girls, it was something going on in their menstrual cycle at an earlier age or something, and they were seeing fibroids in these young ladies, and I think that's when the conversation initiated. And then, but I think it was actually way before that. But just for me, was a product that was targeted, and they had the issues with. And like I said, I want to say it was around 2017, because that's when my daughters and my mom and more people in my family became more natural. Started having, going locks.
I found it.
Hair is natural.
I found it. It was 20. So you said 2017. University found a link between breast cancer and the use of hair dyes, but this wasn't. This is one of the. This is like this is one of the more exhaustive conversational studies. But what was really reported was really around a sister wrote a list of products that she said don't use, because these products will cause, she believes these products have, not believes, they had the listing on the product of the cancer causing chemical agent in the product. And she was like, here are a list of Black owned products that don't contain BPAs, ethyl, lemon, or, it's all these different products that are not allowed in the European Union, but are allowed here in the United States. And so, I hear what you're saying, Captain Strickland, and I'm sorry that you feeling. Love to get into your feeling. But before we do, so we have a number of people in the room. I just want to pause for a second. Say, go look at the chat, please. There is a grant that is the second post in chat has the grant that's available. It's $10,000 for Black mental health wellness. You don't have to be a nonprofit. You don't have to be for profit. As long as you are centering your work for Black folks, literally the wording used on the grant, you must have centered your work to help Black folks deal with their mental health awareness or mental health wellness. It's a $10,000 grant. There are 3 of them. Please pass this information around the community. Thank y'all. All right, Captain Strickland, the stage is yours.
So thank you for that. This is the 3rd time that I've expressed it, so I'm considerably more thoughtful about my language than the first and second time. And I just think if red paint those from buildings and the whole Roe v. Wade overturning because of the importance of life. If all of those things are important, I think this is at least on par with those things. I think that this is for the most part, the status quo. So my thoughts right now are centering around, what can little old me do with these feelings and do with this information. So it is actually not the first time that I've heard reference to cancer causing agents, but I'll tell you, most everything can cause cancer, but it's a long way from your scalp to your uterus. So thinking about this being, present throughout our whole bodies, I think it needs to sit with it, understand how it plays a part in the work that I'm doing, because it's going to impact generations. It already has and will continue to. And I think we can do something about it.
Auntie Cheryl, I want to, before you go, I want to just post this link here, and I'll take a moment to read the link in relationship to what we discussed last night, and then take this information to that person that we discussed, because this link talks about fibroids and talks about, this is really weird. It won't let me post the link to the room. This is from Refinery. I'm going to put it in the chat, though. Refinery 29 has done, and over the last 3 years, they've done 3 articles that talk specifically about the dangers of black hair products. And they've done this particular article was written by the woman who appeared in a documentary. And she was talking about how her hair was relaxed in 93 at age 10. And 20 years later, she discovered she has 5 fibroids after being hospitalized for suspected appendicitis. She also, in 2014, went for her 12-week ultrascan, only to discover she had suffered a miscarriage at 7 weeks. And she went on to have 2 more early miscarriages before she decided to do her research into what was deemed as low progesterone and oestrone dominance in 2016. This is articles from 2017. She decided to make a film via Indiegogo, and it's called My Hair. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say. It's My Hair Care Nightmare. I guess that's what it is. I'm not saying near hair care. So it's My Hair Care Nightmare. That hashtag she used for her film that went through this situation, as she realized that there is a link between the use of hair dyes, hair relaxers, and this is not something new. This is from 2012, the American Journal of Epidemiology, which shows the use of hair relaxers associated with fibroids. In 2017, researchers at Rutgers University found the same thing. So I need black folks and black women and myself, I'm including myself in that, because I definitely did not do a lot of reposting, and I saw it everywhere. I thought this was something that we knew. There was also the one thing that I did find.
Hold on. Let's come in, because I'm losing my thoughts.
Go ahead.
The thing I want to say is America's first heroes were America's first crooks. I say it all the time. We understand that something this diabolical could be set up. What would make us think that anything the pharmaceutical or medical industry would do that would be conducive to us? It's a sad, sad situation to really have to accept that this land, the whole world, is set up on greed. The other thing I'd like to say the fact that we have to blend is ingrained in this stolen land. So, my mother, 87, just had a mild heart attack. Doctors and medical is wonderful for diagnosis, yes. But the thing that doctors do in my face told me to get out of my mother's room. That the stent procedure had been scheduled. And he's going to talk to my 87-year-old mother by herself. Have already talked to my niece and sister and her sister. And he doesn't know why I'm trying to interfere because she could have a massive heart attack. I wasn't going to fight any of them. I was quite scared myself. And after I listened to the diagnosis, I said, well, wait a minute. I got my sister, my niece, and her sister screaming, it's already known. The procedure said we got to blame it. Grandma. I said, let me think. Just let me think for a minute. Doctor standing over my arm. We're doing it tomorrow. It's already scheduled. I said, sir, please, would you remove yourself? Let the family talk. They hung up. I made some calls. I called a guy by the name of Don Juan here in LA. He's in the community, and I found out about the ozone, which is not FDA approved, definitely not suggesting any of this. I found out by way of a guy named Michael Carson, who's a personal trainer for the ultra rich. Eli Broad, Zuckerberg, you name it. And I was doing community service hours, and that's how I got to him. So through time, he has educated me. So when I find out Doc got the ozone, I call Michael Carson. He said, how do you know about that? How do you know about the ozone? I said, well, he said, most of my rich clients have it in their homes. Doc now has just gotten something called red light. It looks like a tanning bed. It's $53,000. I will wrap by saying I snatched my mama up out that hospital last Wednesday night. I told her for the first time at 87, bet on yourself. You can bleed out, have a massive heart attack, the whole bit on the table. I looked at the doctor. I said, where will the plaque that's built up in the front artery? 8% of the plaque you guys clinic, ain't nothing be done about it. So you put a stent in, you continue to eat that way, and the plaque continues to. Never once said I recorded it. Did the doctor say anything about change of lifestyle or nutrition change? I snatched my mama out. She woke up at 5 o'clock that morning. She was here with me. I thought my mama was going to have a massive heart attack. But I told her, if you got to go out, try to go out on your own. Take steps. Don't discount the doctor and the medical, but take the steps. See what you can do first. 5 o'clock, I didn't want to call Doc 5:30. He called me, get over here. Ozone in her ears. It's called cavity. There's directed vein, and there's something called a tip pass. They take 250 cc's in your blood and hit it with the ozone and shoot in 10 times. I will wrap my saying this. She went from the ozone to the ears to the red light table. 15-minute treatment. She said, I can breathe. My heart ain't hurt. She on the 3rd treatment. She got crippling arthritis, and I see her fingers stretching out in my face. This, when I see how much she said, just bring her. You ain't got no money in this world. You ain't got no money if you ain't got no knowledge. I have to say, yes, we must understand it's got to be a war to know 9 times out of 10, all of us put the relaxer. And years ago I stopped, and this is my last point, when an undertaker told me, we go in the black scalp, a woman's scalp, black women, and it's a layer of the relaxer under the scalp. And still we rise. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna put to the room. For those of you that are watching.
Actually, just text you. We have a professor of law right here in Chile that's been researching this work, and I want to reach out. I think that there's, if nothing else, there's an entrepreneurial opportunity to address this alternatives to these products, because as Cheryl said, there's a psychological component to this. Like me, I'm in the military. The last time I processed my hair was when I knew I had to do some intense repetitive training over a period of time that was going to include chlorinated water, right? And I know that when I'm done with training, I've got approximately 30 minutes to get ready for my next activity. And that's like hair in regulation, ready to go. And I opted for something that I thought was safer. I have to do some research to see if it is. It's not a relaxer, but it is a relaxing process. So I need to do research to see if I'm to see where I land with this whole thing. But I mean, we're so steeped in this entrepreneurial space that there are enough women and men who are creating products that need the funding to scale and we can solve our own problem versus expecting somebody to stop what they're doing to us and then solve the problem for us.
I totally agree. I put in the chat, as Auntie Cheryl said, this is not medical advice. We're not giving medical advice. You need to check with your medical provider and your medical practitioner. That said, I did put in a chat in case anybody is unclear and doesn't know what Auntie Cheryl was talking about when it comes to red light therapy bed, which is actually certified through the Space Foundation technology, and it is FDA registered. And in Canada, it's approved by the Canadian Health Department as a treatment. But it's right there in the one of the companies that provides beds. It's in the chat. One of the other things that Auntie Cheryl did that I think that is really important when it comes to care is to advocate for ourselves. And when we have to, unfortunately, we have to start. We wear so many hats, right? We have to start wearing this hat that says, you're going to keep me alive, and when does it stop? How does this solve the problem? Or what is I get it. I get to stay alive. But what kind of thing that you're doing to my body is going to help me continue to have either a quality of life or not have this problem reoccur? And that's the thing. Medicine isn't necessarily a solution-driven industry, and so that's the thing, that the balance that we have to have. And the other side of that is I think that when we're in medical emergencies, we're not necessarily getting the best second opinion. We're in a medical emergency situation, and so there's definitely a strategy, and I definitely would love for us to look at what the Cleveland Clinic says, what Mayo Clinic says, some of the leading cutting edge hospitals. What are they saying? And what you can do is you go to American Journal of Medicine, or Journal of American Medicine, and you can Google search for what studies on whatever the procedure, and see what some of the top leading cutting edge hospitals are saying about that specific procedure. When you come back to the doctor with the study, this is literally what I had to do with Zora. Come back to them with the studies, and the study says this type of therapy is part of the part of treatment, and it's worked in this percentage of patients. And so when you come back to the doctor, it's like talking to a techie. When you start talking gigabytes and megabytes and processor and terabytes and stuff, techie's like, okay, you speak about talk. And I've had that experience multiple times where doctors had a different reaction when I talked to them about the American Journal of Studies and what their opinion is on that study. I haven't yet run into a doctor that hasn't read the study. Fortunately for me, I haven't run into a doctor who wasn't aware or did not understand the study. And we can talk from an equal position of language when it comes to health prevention and also solution. So you really have to be a health advocate, but you also have to have, fortunately, we have our community here on Clubhouse, and there is enough Black doctors on this app. There's a room called Frontliners. Dr. Keisha is the founder of that. Dr. Dan is on Instagram. Dr. Keisha is on Instagram. They take questions. I think it's one of the things that we maybe not don't take advantage of enough on this app. But in general, we also have the National Association of Medicine. That's the Black Doctors Association. So again, and there's also Black Health Matters on Facebook, which I believe has 1 million people attached to that. And blackdoctors.org, I believe, also has 1 million people attached to that. So we have places to go to ask questions, and we definitely need to do that. If you're just joining the room, we want to make sure you know about this grant above our heads. The grant is for so nonprofit, for-profit person who is centering their work in creating better mental wellness for Black folks. The $10,000 grant times 3. So this organization out of California has found money, and it's called Black Wellness Innovation Fund, Black Wellness Innovation Fund, and they are Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, and they want to give $10,000 by November 18th to 3 people or organizations or whatever to help you focus your work better to treat living with mental health conditions as a Black folk. That's literally what the grant says. So when I got this morning, I said I got to make sure we devote a lot of time to passing this out, because we've devoted a lot of time to the Black mental health crisis that's going on in our community with our young people committing trigger warning, committing suicide, and more Black mental health crisis that CVS, that Black folks who took CVS survey said they're experiencing. So we also want to devote time to Black solutions, right? And while $10,000 may not be much, it's a start. And so I want to pass this information far and wide, make sure that our families, our folks who are on the front lines of dealing with mental wellness know about this grant and apply for the grant. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to go to the website and to actually check it out. I want to thank Auntie Cheryl for being transparent with your mom. Your mother's in our prayers, and we thank you for all the time you show up for us as a community and let us know about different things that are affecting our community. Captain Strickland, I'm down to whatever you decide you want to do. I definitely want to make sure that we are we have my backing to make if we want to do a room or more of a public forum for this particular subject matter when it comes to chemical in Black women's hair. And it was a start to get, a lawsuit, class action suit, like we did for Johnson & Johnson. This is the start of that conversation. I'm down for that, whatever. So it is what it is, and we'll make this happen. I definitely think I would commit this at the end of this year to making sure Black women know about these different studies, and hopefully they pass the information to their daughters and to their nieces and to the next generation that says, we got to change this. We got to definitely change this. So there also is some information out today that Black babies born to Black mothers die far more often than those with white mothers, particularly babies that are conceived through fertility technologies. This was a study published in the Journal of Pediatrics. The challenge I have with this information, because I went through, we didn't go through IVF, but we went through birth trauma, is that while this is the study, the study doesn't talk about when you're trying to make you who survives more often. And so I wanted to just say that if you do see this article come up, babies that are Black survive in NICU more, particularly Black girls than Black boys. And then I believe it's Hispanic children. So I get that this is a study and there's a lot based on this study. I will say that, at the same time, if this is the case, there's also the case that our children survive the NICU in much better shape than any other race. So, part of this conversation is going to be around in vitro, but also, knowing that if you do have a child in NICU, your baby's probably more likely to survive than not. So if you do see this article, keep that in mind. I think it's a very layered and very difficult conversation to unpack, except that Black mothers are not given their stats until you face what you face, which is whatever crisis that you're in. And there are different groups that are parent groups that I can let you guys know about. If you're with somebody that's pregnant and they're not experiencing any good medical care, please reach out. Let me know. I can turn them on to different moms groups that are there for to help get that space and not have to continue to receive bad treatment as a Black woman who's pregnant. And again, above our heads, the grant information is there. Please pass that information out. Let family know far and wide. Thank you, Captain Strickland, for the article that you brought up. And there's a NBC News article that has the same information in it. And unfortunately, I don't know what's up with Clubhouse, but I can't post the Refinery 29 article that is about the Black woman who did a documentary on this in 2017. But it's in the chat. If you go to the chat, you can see the link to Refinery 29. Her documentary is My Black Hair Care Nightmare. And so she aligns exactly with what this article is talking about. With cancer, in her case, she believes it led to her, unfortunately, pregnancy loss 3 times and also fibroids. So when we put it on our scalp, definitely trickles down, and that's a known fact. The room was being helpful to anybody, and if you have any questions about any of this, always give us a holler. We'll be back tomorrow night with Black Art and Creativity News. Hopefully, Dr. Eric Kelly will join us. And so Friday is Black Business News. Saturday, Black Education. There's a lot of Black education this Saturday. We'll definitely be doing the room because it is a lot of Black education news we got to talk about, including a story, unfortunately, of a Black elementary school where the radioactive nuclear waste was found. I said that right. Black elementary school, radioactive, so not radio inactive, radioactive nuclear waste was found. And the school is scheduled to be shut down, but it took a lot to get to that point. And so we're going to discuss that and some of the parents that what they have to say about that school system in Missouri. How did we get to this point where we have an elementary school built on top of nuclear waste? It's just crazy. So that's Black education, and of course, Sunday will be Black politics and policy, where we expect to have our Washington Bureau Chief, 110G, join us and talk about some of the stuff that's happening on Capitol Hill and some other insider information. So hopefully you'll join us if you have a moment throughout the week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And tomorrow, Brother Charlamagne, I'll let you in the room. Tell folks what you and I will be doing tomorrow at 7 before our show.
Tomorrow, Martin is going to be dropping knowledge about LinkedIn and trying to bring the personal and business stages of LinkedIn. And get you more traction with your business or your personal growth. to register, just go to the bit.ly and put in CS Weekend. It'll pull up the Eventbrite and register for the event. Just want to see what and Martin, hope you're ready, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. This is what I do. I love talking about LinkedIn and how to use it properly. So absolutely. And what Charlamagne didn't say is that this event is not at a cost. So see you tomorrow. Please be safe. Know that we're targets in our own neighborhoods, and we have to go with our intuition. If it tells you to leave an area, leave an area. Don't stay. Keep your head on the swivel, as we always like to end the show by saying, stay black, y'all.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. We are happy to have you guys. Please let family know about the grant that's right here to my right, and let folks know that this grant is available to anyone that's looking to help Black people with their mental health and wellness. You can check it out at Beam. I'm going to scroll down to get to the, it's beam.community/grants. All right, y'all. Have a blessed night. See you guys tomorrow.